If you don't already know me and you're randomly seeing this in your recommended page, then I must say YouTube's being a bit passive aggressive.
I don't know, man. Seems kinda rude to me.
I mean, unless you specifically searched for it, then good on you, it's great to try and self-improve. This is not a tutorial or guide. If you're looking for that, then you'll probably find this more useful. Here I'll be providing a series of tips, advice and strategies to help you not die. And I'll obviously not be listing exploits, since that would go against the whole point of playing RLCraft. I will therefore be acting as if you're already familiar with the mod pack. So I've been having quite a successful hardcore series, not to jinx it or anything, but it's made me think and plan more carefully on how not to die. No shit. The core of your survival depends on your shield, helmet and chestplate, but mostly the shield. The infamous skeleton is easily defeated as long as you listen to their bowstring. Just instinctively right click to parry each time you hear it. You don't necessarily need to see them. If you just started out, you won't be able to easily heal. Unless you reach a higher magic level, aka the summoning staff, because individually healing each limb with a basic bandage gets rather annoying. For now you'll have to rely mostly on sleeping, which restores 40% of your health, and nymphs. You can increase nymph spawn rates by planting flowers. Where do I find flowers? From the nymphs themselves! On death they drop tons of flowers, and they're all of different variants, so yeah, pretty nice. Plant the flowers to make more nymphs spawn, kill them and get even more flowers.
It's an endless cycle of death.
All for gracious little flowers. The night isn't as bad as everyone describes it. On the contrary, you need to go out during the night, especially in the early game. Sure, the title says how not to die, so maybe I should tell you to stay bunkered up all day and sleep over every night, but I want to tell you how to overcome challenges, not how to avoid them. You decided to play RLCraft after all. During the day while you're exploring to find a house, try and kill as many passive mobs as you see. Not only do they give you experience, but in this case we actually need the meat. Reapers have a chance of spawning when you kill a mob, but in this case you have to hope that they spawn. Because not only are they a lot easier to deal with during the day, since it's literally just them, but they drop bones, and you need bones. So on the contrary, you should hope that they spawn. With all the meat and bones, try and craft as many treats as you can. Some are more useful than others, but ultimately, the more the better. Try to focus on avian treats though. When you're outside during the night, aside for the skeletons that have become particularly annoying, the main game changers are the Lycanites mobs. Most Lycanites mobs only spawn during the night, and that's why it's important that you go out and find them. With the treats that you've crafted, you can pacify Lycanite mobs, as long as you're holding the treat that they like in your hand. You can then potentially tame them, turning their power into yours. If you don't know which treat tames what, or what the best mounts are, you might want to check this video out. Set the tamed mob to follow aggressive for protection, or assist if you still want to prioritize taming even more mobs. There's no need to soulbind all of them, and since I'm guessing you're in early game, you probably don't have the diamonds to do it anyway. Now, soulbinding a pet makes it immortal, but you can only have a limited amount of soulbound pets active. Tamed ones, on the other hand, don't have any limits, and treats are super easy to make. If you have diamonds to spare, soulbind all the ones that can still fit in your spirit bar, so probably just 2 and an imp if you find one, and the rest should not be soulbound. When you're out at night, if you still have no means of healing, aka bandages or ideally a summoning staff, don't stray too far from your home, or optionally bring a sleeping bag. If you take any damage to vital points, retreat or sleep. You shouldn't go exploring. I suggest changing the heart display mode to this. You can add it by opening the menu, going to mod options, then in the search bar type first aid, go to overlay, then in overlay mode select hearts, display mode, change it from 200 to -1, so it always stays active and it won't simply flash when you take damage. This is crucial to help you keep your vitals in check. As a rule of thumb, I suggest staying away from any flying enemies. Now, I'm not simply talking about dragons, I mean any flying enemy. Your pets and summons struggle to intercept them, even if you have a flying pet of your own. Now, because you've been staying outside during the night, you've got lots of pets, but even only one makes a huge difference. With them on your side, you can explore dungeons and go mining relatively safely, leaving all the offense in their hands. All you need to do is focus on defense and breaking spawners. If you have a summoning staff, add a couple minions in as an emergency in case some enemies manage to slip through, since you can summon them on command, but since the focus regen is rather slow, use it only when your pets can't handle the pressure. If you've managed to tame a flying mount, they're less useful when it comes to aiding you in combat, but they're the perfect tool for exploration. And I suggest that you prioritize exploring during the night. This is because when you're flying in the air, the only life-threatening opponents are dragons, and they're all asleep. So you can safely explore and mark any dragon nest on your atlas so you don't mistakenly run into them during the day. If you want to exclusively explore during the night, craft a hammock. It allows you to sleep during the day. Place the hooks between two pillars and then place the hammock in the middle. Simply right-clicking makes you sit on it, essential survival tip. Crouch right-clicking, however, makes you sleep, and you'll awaken at sunset, right before it becomes night. Pets and summons are great and all, but sometimes they get stuck, they're too slow, or they jump to their death because they felt like it. So don't exclusively rely on them. If you're not great at kiting enemy mobs, consider using long-range weapons. If you've got arrows to spare, the bow is the safest option. If used in combination with your pets protecting you, frost arrows are extremely good. More details on the arrows and stuff here, but it's mostly just frost arrows, since they literally freeze the enemy in place. Bows are cool and all, but keep in mind that the sabers and rapiers damage boost also applies to your pet's damage, so it's better if you hold those 24/7. And now for the demonstration. We have our pet on follow aggressive. Now we'll be spawning a zombie. The Venturaptor's default damage is 5, but if I were to hold now the saber with 100% damage boost and spawn a zombie. Oh, I don't want him getting close. Now unfortunately he's armored, so he's also only doing 3 damage. But as you can see, I'm unarmored, managed to get the spoils. Oh, that's a little zombie. But see, undamaged. And there's a blighted zombie with armor, dead. Pretty easy. Now, if I were to spawn a zombie, the stone saber, it's 15 damage. The 7 damage is because he had no hearts anymore. It was simply the remaining health he had. If I were to do it with a iced saber, instead of 15 it's 19. Even though the damage buff is only 100%, the quality of the weapon does affect his boost. Now if we were to pass over to the rapier, which does 200% boost, the stone one does 17 damage compared to the 15 from the stone saber, and the iced one does 22 is the max health of a zombie. I'd actually need to get a mob with more health, or at the very least I could hope to get one. But yeah, you get the idea, it does more damage. But if we were to try dual wielding, let's say this, I'll use a stone weapon since they're weaker, so they won't die instantly. But the saber does 15 damage, and the rapier does 17, the stone versions at least. If I were to combine them with the rapier that does more damage on the offhand, and the saber in the main hand, it still only does the damage of the weapon in the main hand, so dual wielding will not double the damage buff, so you might as well just use a shield. If you're struggling right from the get-go by spawning underwater, consider generating a new world. The first spawn point is usually safe since it's using the normal Minecraft spawn point generator, but after you've died once, you just start spawning randomly in different locations, which might end up being right in the middle of an ocean. If you're worried about shelter, all you actually need is a hole where enemies can't get in. Finding a light source to prevent darkness monsters is actually your main problem. You could try simply pillaring up and using the light of the moon to keep you safe, but watch out for rocks or other flying mobs that can still reach you. In conclusion, aside for ice and fire mobs that you should only try and challenge in the later game, not dying in RLCraft, at least when it comes to the early game, relies mostly on parrying arrows and using others to fight for you. Now, mounts are so great because mobs tend to aggro exclusively on you. If you've ever played Minecraft with a friend, you probably already know how mobs only target the first person they see. Any other player, aside from the one that's been targeted, can safely stand next to those mobs and not get attacked. Creepers in particular won't even retaliate to attacks, and this is precisely why Lycanites pets are great. Most of the time, everything will only come charging at you, leaving themselves exposed to a flurry of attacks from your pets. This effectively neutralizes infernal mobs as well, since most of the time, unless they have a damage reflection ability, which might backfire, they need to get close to their target, aka you, before they can activate their abilities. For example, that insta-kill fireball will never get launched in the first place if your pets eliminate him from a distance. That's also why you need to keep pets on aggressive, otherwise enemies manage to get close to you. Now this might sound stupid because it kind of goes without saying, but understand when you should leave. RLCraft's dungeon crawling is very enticing, but sometimes you shouldn't go just one floor deeper. Compare your previous enemy encounters and judge how well you can handle your next one. If you barely survived or simply got lucky because none of your vitals were focused, maybe you should reconsider proceeding any further. Keep in mind that if you're unlucky and all the damage you take goes straight to your head or chest, all you have protecting you is 3 hearts of health. And, in case you didn't know, all ranged attacks are aimed at your head, so watch out. Last but not least, and this goes for Minecraft in general, but even more so in RLCraft, water is deadly. Aside for almost every sea creature in RLCraft possessing the ability to drag you underwater, simply standing in a puddle, if you don't have a necklace of the sea, slows you down tremendously, making your poor little face an extremely easy target for every ranged enemy in the area. Trying to block will make you slower than the water's current, so you'll even get pushed into potentially more danger. The rest is mostly up to your skill in parrying and hitting targets. And luck, because sometimes RLCraft just wants you dead. Well, good luck on your adventures, and if you found this useful, please consider subscribing. Bye!